morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jasmina from Jasmina Brozovik Astrology. I'm a practical astrologer, practicing astrologer, and I've been doing this for a number of years now. Let me go live on Instagram as well. Today we're going to have a great topic. We're going to talk about Jupiter in Gemini. But before we start, I want to introduce my guest, Teri, from Amethyst Astrology and Tarot. I already were a guest at Teri's podcast. You can check the video in our streams. So Teri, welcome. Thank you so much for coming to be my guest. How are you?
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm good. I hope that you are doing well as well. And thank you for inviting me. Yeah, that's a pleasure. I think it's only a pleasure for talking astrology with you and just chatting. I mean, it's really always nice to introduce myself. Like, how do I introduce myself? It's like I'm normally I used to be a banker, correspondent banker in the previous life. I can say that, but I studied at the Faculty of Astrological Studies in London, and also I am a certified tarot reader. At the moment, I'm also a practicing astrologer. I like more modern astrology, and I'm also I'm doing natal chart and also forecasting yearly analysis, but at the same time, I'm studying decans. And in addition to that, hopefully, I will start studying horary astrology, which I will go back to traditional astrology again. So, like a fusion of this, like I like being on the scholar part as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know you're a great student of astrology, and as we all are, we learn. Astrology is a everlasting topic to learn. So there's never ending. I'm also studying Uranian astrology as well. So although I'm a modern astrologer, it's very interesting. Just to get another point of view, astrology is amazing. Anyway, we thank you so much. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. I think you're a Virgo as well. You're a Virgo, right?
Yeah.
So your
Yeah.
my Virgo rising and your Virgo sun always trying to analyze and explore astrology in details, which I really like. That's why I like talking to you. So today we're gonna talk about Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter is currently in Taurus, but it's gonna go into Gemini on May 25th, and it's gonna stay there until June 9, 2025. It will go retrograde, I need to say, from October 9th to February 4th next year. So this is going to be between the 21 degrees and 11 degrees of Gemini. So the whole Jupiter in Gemini is going to be very good for air signs, especially Geminis, because it's going to just give them more optimism and hope. But it's going to be good for Aquarius and Libras as well. And I need to say, before we go into more details, that is like a fresh of breath air for all air signs. Because Libras are now having an issue with all these eclipses, all the relationship patterns from last July, all this year. So they are struggling, they're challenged with that. And Aquarius is challenged with Pluto in their sign. So having this is like helping them, giving them hope for a better future. So I like that the air signs are having a little bit of break. And our Geminis, of course, are hammered, as Steve Jobs would say, with Saturn squaring everything. So it's really not easy. Yes, so that's for the starters. I know the Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini, how we say it in astrology is it's fall or determined. I'm not sure. So he's not
Detriment.
Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
not very at home here because he's ruling Sagittarius, which is the opposite sign. So let's start with that, Teri. What do you think Jupiter in Gemini with this not being at home? What does that mean for you, and how would you describe this?
I mean, if you ask me, first of all, I generally think that to be detriment, to be in fall exaltation, at the end of the day, all the planets have their type of expression this way or another. So it's like, yes, I mean, I think that if you look at it, there are always in an expression in the symbolism of a planet in a sign, always there are positive parts, and then there are negative parts. So I think I won't say that like Jupiter being in Gemini would be completely like it's not at home, so it would be feeling uncomfortable there and everything. I mean, like it's like because since Jupiter is the ruler of nature, ruler of Sagittarius, and the Gemini is the opposite sign of uh, Sagittarius. That's why it is thought to be like not comfortable there. But I believe that Jupiter in Gemini, I mean, can be really helpful. I mean, like, because I mean, I was when you were putting the um, thing, no, 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 Gemini, there's a music like that, and I'm like, oh my God, this got stuck in my. I was looking for something else, and then all of a sudden, I was like, journey, journey, etc., and then something came out, curious journey. A soundtrack came out. It's a curious journey. Yeah, because Gemini is curious, wants to learn about things, know about things, and I mean, in the end, expand their knowledge, you know, like through reading, through communicating with other people. And Jupiter is a journey. I mean, it's a part of the journey. So it can be a really curious journey as long as Jupiter doesn't get out of control. And then with the Gemini's curiosity, they start like going everywhere. I want to know also this, I want to know, and then nothing, I mean, like substantial comes in your hand. But if you can use that channel, that curiosity and everything, and then go one subject, go another subject, and then try to make something out of it, Jupiter in Gemini can be really helpful for everyone. I mean, like, I mean, it will of course impact the all the mutable signs in a way, this 1 year transit, but it will also make trines and everything much other types of aspects with the other signs as well. So I feel that like, why not? Let's go into the curious journey.
I love that. I love curious journey for Jupiter in Gemini. Yes, he's inquisitive, sociable, communicative, just as you said. I put a little list of what I feel that might bring us. So he's playful, curious, as you mentioned. So he needs to kind of learn to enjoy the present, the small things in life, because Jupiter is all about big explorations and journeys, and so learning to actually enjoy the little small things just Gemini likes. So that's going to be maybe a topic here. Travel and education. Also having faith in your mental strength, because Gemini is about mental strength. So I think that's it's going to be mental health might be a topic as well during this Jupiter in Gemini, just because it can expand if you have any issues, it can expand them. So yeah, so we covered that. I think so wherever you have Geminis in your chart, this is going to be expanded, so it's going to be bigger, larger than light. So find a way how can you make that part of the chart bigger than before. It's giving you hope and optimism, if you're feeling down or something like that. So what do you feel about, so for personally, for us as individuals, how can we use the best this energy of Jupiter in Gemini? How can we use it the best?
It depends, I think, in which part of the chart it will go. So I mean, like, no, it's like, because it will, wherever Gemini is, I mean, like, according to that will be impacting mostly one area of life. So we can, I mean, like, for example, it's in my 10th house. Mostly it would be in my 10th house. So it would be about, like, it can be about career. It can be about, like, um, also, I mean, like, in a way, standing in the public, I mean, like, showing your authority and everything. Its 10th house can be about it. And when I'm thinking about this, I mean, like, then how can I grow more through the, I mean, like, first growing your, in a way, knowledge and everything, maybe like making more research, etc. But also, how can I grow as a person in the career path. You can think about that, and according to the houses that this Jupiter would be going, or I mean, we may decide. Jupiter is also, I mean, like about, of course, there is philosophy in it, and also there is the belief, the faith, and the meaning. Also, what meaning do we give in that part of life, and what can we do about it? I think we have to all think all these things as well. I mean, when we are thinking also journeys, of course, I mean, it can be a mental journey. It doesn't need to be a physical journey, or it can be really long distance journeys, etc. And then it's like maybe you need to like expand more in terms of like traveling, etc., in order to be able to, I mean, reach more people and everything, and then connect with them, make a connection, and make these social interactions and bonds with other people. I always think about that. I mean,
Yeah, I 100% agree. It's actually a great opportunity for guys to network, to make new friends, to explore other cultures in that sense, through expressing. So it's good. I think it's going to be emphasized for all of us. Like we had Jupiter in Taurus now, it was all about food and money and our values. So this is all going to be about how we can expand our knowledge, our mind, how we connect. So as humans, how we connect with each other, on this path. So I think as long as we don't get lost in little, because it can be scattered. Gemini's energy is scattered, so Jupiter can lost himself in the sense, because he likes the big picture and the vision, and so as long as we don't get lost in our mind is not scattered. Which I have to bring another point. What will help this Jupiter is actually those squares to Saturn, because he's going to experience three squares Saturn. Two are going to be in Gemini, and one is going to be the last one is going to be in Cancer next June. So first one is going to be in August 19th, 7 degrees Gemini. Then on Christmas Day, and then the last one is going to be in June next year. So what this tells me is that we're going to have some kind of discipline and focus. So this scatteredness of Gemini is actually going to get some kind of boundaries, some kind of limitations, that we can actually use this energy in the best way possible. So what are your thoughts about Jupiter and Saturn squaring and that combination?
I mean, Jupiter and Saturn, if you think that, I mean, they are like like sometimes two opposite sides. Also, there is this, if you think about the myth, it's the fight between the son and the father. And also, it's like about the youth and the old. And then there is the tradition, but there is this all more like this. One is limits, the other is like uh, getting out of your limits. Not Neptune way, it's like not borderless, but there is like you are expanding your border. So I think it's also, I mean, like square, of course. If it's a square, there can be a tension, but or conflicts in that sense. I mean, in that areas of lives that are impacted. But at the end of the day, squares, I mean, out of that tension, I always say that, I mean, we can produce something more useful in our lives. So we have to think about it. Of course, we don't know the individual charts. I mean, like this is squaring somewhere, is it squaring something else, opposing something else, if they make any other aspects and everything. But in that sense, we can use this Jupiter Saturn energy in that sense. And also, it's, as you have mentioned, I mean, we have to think that since it's a cycle, it's a part of the cycle, the square, the Jupiter Saturn conjunction, which started this cycle, was in 2020. So maybe we can start think about what started with that cycle, like Jupiter Saturn coming together, and now what is the maybe issues that we need to be resolved, and continue from there to the trine, that where we can find the harmony.
I I like that. I think it's good. Yeah, so it's called the opening square, right? It's the first square after the conjunction. So there's like it's going to prone us to action. So we are going to be we're going to need to take action to have the best of Jupiter. It's not going to just give us abundance and blessings and all this good stuff and luck without work. That's what I think. have a take on this for sure. So I know everybody says Jupiter is luck and abundance and, you know, good fortune. It is, but I don't feel that it can really, you know, unless you put the hard work in it, which I think the Saturn will help, then you will have results. So I like this combination, and it's a combination of money, you know, Jupiter and Saturn together. There's some business cycles as well. So I think if you put the efforts and with a little bit of good fortune, you can have results. So the problem with this is going to be, I feel that, you know, Gemini is restless and doesn't have patience. So Saturn will prompt us to be more patient. So this can be the frustrating situation in this case, that we might just be impatient, and then the frustration might rise up. But if you're aware, you can, you know, how Frank Clifford says, you can then strategize and and make plans ahead of time at how to work with this energy. So yeah, so I heard this something, because there's Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces is about sacrifice. So the expansion, the growth comes from this sacrifice. You will need to sacrifice something in order to grow. So that might be an issue. On a global level, I want to hear your thoughts. I'm just thinking about Jupiter in Gemini. So guys, think about news, media. This is what Gemini rules. Sales. So there might be a lot of gossip, a lot of fake news in the media. You might hear a lot of things over exaggerated. You know, like that might not be true. So always be very discerning and cautious this whole year when Jupiter is in Gemini about what you hear in news. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, it can be the case also. We have to think that, I mean, like when it is in Gemini, the ruler of Gemini, which we call in astrological terms dispositor, is Mercury. And then we know how Mercury moves fast. So it will affect the air, I mean, the impact of Jupiter all the time. Can you imagine that the fast movement all the time? Yeah, because Mercury is like moving retrograde, moving retrograde. It's something like that. And also we will have a lot of different expressions of Jupiter in Gemini in that sense. And it's true, with the Mercury, it can be like the trickster, yeah, like you said, this fake news. But it can be also, I mean, like, it's Mercury. Mercury is the writing, communication. I mean, also Jupiter as ninth house, if we think there's publishing, broadcasting, and everything. So it can be more maybe time that the people decide to come out like as like maybe podcasting or like media, also writing. I mean, like giving more time to write and publish stuff, and then meet with the wider community and everything. It can be because I mean, if you think about Gemini, house is the third house. What is the third house? It can be about also I mean, about the siblings, or about I mean, your neighborhood, your smaller community. You know, we like, it's like when you start thinking about it, it can be. So it might be good always to look at our third house. What is it? What is there? So what this Gemini can be related, Jupiter in Gemini can be related. We can all think about that as well, I mean.
Excellent. And I was going to say, maybe this time, instead of traveling abroad, this Jupiter in Gemini will bring you more road trips, just local, as you said, local trips, and then maybe you will enjoy that more. I was going to say something, but I see, this is my Gemini brain. Da, 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 da. What were you saying? What were you said? Oh yeah, I know. So publishing, everything you said, that's correct. What about education system? I think it's literally time that we change our educational system. Will this Jupiter in Gemini bring some new developments in that area? What do you think?
I think it may only happen like when maybe Uranus goes into Gemini, no? That can be, I mean, like, it can make that really shocking changes, and I mean, like, the really, I mean, some kind of also some rebellions or some kind of thing can also happen. I mean, in that sense, I think maybe, I don't know when Jupiter in Gemini, it may happen, but when Uranus goes into Gemini, maybe it can impact that kind of thing. I mean, the type of communication, and also I think the type of how you, I mean, lead the lessons and everything. I mean, like in any case, in pandemic, during the pandemic, what happened that there were lots of online classes and everything that happened. Maybe I mean, it's not only for, I mean, astrology or anything, for the normal public schools and everything, the system had to go into that. Maybe there can be wider version, expansion of that kind of education as well. So that also, I mean, like people, because not everyone lives in the city, so the people that live outside in the suburbs, etc., or the places that who cannot reach to the city urban areas, can have more opportunities in that sense.
I think that's a great point. Yes, especially when you said the conjunction that happened in 2020 was initiation. Many things went online, so this is like a first, as you said, opening square. This will prod us to action to actually do something more online and stuff. And with Pluto in Aquarius now, I think there's gonna be, maybe using AI more in schools. Like there's a lot of options that we can think about that this Jupiter will, because Jupiter is a teacher. He's the ultimate teacher, and in Gemini likes to learn. And so this is a good, excellent opportunity with this Jupiter in Gemini to learn new things, to share our ideas and between us, and to make it a better. I feel it's also a sense of hope. This is number one thing for me with Jupiter. It's hope. It doesn't necessarily need to manifest the way we want it, but it gives us a sense of hope that there's a better future. Yeah. Also, there's a sense of, Geminis love freedom. And Jupiter ruling Sagittarius also likes freedom. Do you feel that many people, are going to think about what does freedom mean for them? Do they want to break free? What is, in that sense, what are your thoughts?
As Jupiter in Gemini, freedom. I think, I don't know. Yeah, they can, I mean, think about the meaning. But I mean, Gemini, yes, there is a sense of freedom with that. Not like, I don't think so that it's like Sagittarius. It's more like, I think Sagittarius, because it's like more like expanding and then trying to find new horizons, etc. But probably it's Gemini is like a more mental freedom. No, it's like you want to be like free thinking, free mind. I mean, like you don't want that the people can interfere in your thoughts, because your thoughts, your area, it's my brain. I think stay out of there, that kind of freedom. So the people may rethink about it. I mean, like what is it, what does it mean for them? And in that sense, it can make sense. I mean, like maybe it's a good period to um, contemplate about this.
Now that you brought me to another thought as well. So because Jupiter is about belief systems, and Gemini is actually open to other views. So that's the, many people say, oh, Gemini's, there's duality, they are, double faced, whatever. But actually it's not about that. It's about being open and understanding multiple points of view. Not necessarily agreeing with everybody, but understanding that being open to hearing them. So do you feel that people might be more observant and more prone to understand other belief system? Because there's so many wars now going on. I mean, forever about, these belief systems, and there are always fights and wars. So do you feel that this Jupiter might give people opportunity to understand the other side better, and maybe you'll see some kind of progress in that sense?
Yeah, it can be the case that, I mean, because if you think that it's like at least, I mean, it's the effort. They can put an effort. I mean, the people, it's not like, as you said, it doesn't mean that there would be an agreement, but at least to be open-minded and to make an effort, trying to understand what the others believe. And then maybe, I mean, like opening a platform to discuss in a more civilized way. Maybe it can be the thing, because I mean, if you think that also the passage from Taurus to Gemini, it's like I mean, Taurus, I mean, it's like also more moral side, no, that there are norms. Sometimes it can go to dogma, despite of Venus and all this peace harmony. There's a more, I think, a more conservative side, not like a Capricorn part, but there's a more conservative side. And then it's also Earth, you know, there is a more structured. Also, it's a fixed sign. I mean, it's like as long as they don't need to change, they won't change it. I mean, like it's like there is a like emergency, you have to go out. I mean, like you are on fire, they won't move. I mean, so but all of a sudden Gemini comes with air. It's like all this, you know, the like it's like air, lung, words. I mean, yeah, no, it's like breathing. And I mean, also I was reading a lot Darby Costello's book, and then she's telling about when she talks about air, it's like the spirit. There is more in that sense. I mean, like being mediating, you know, being the medium, like transmitting and intermediating. So there's a lot of kind of things that will come with Gemini. And then also it's mutable, since I mean, as long as there is no exaggeration of mutable, like changing, like etc. In that sense, it can give more space in expressing the beliefs and your understanding of faith and everything. Also, Gemini, you said like duality. Again, I was reading this about duality, but it was saying that the duality, but it's like there is a part that is outside, that is like, you know, Gemini, social, like social butterfly talking, but there's a inner side of that duality comes. It's not necessarily a darker side, but there's an inner talk that is going on actually, like, you know, you observe, you talk, etc., and then you take them inside, and then you try to understand and then settle them down and then internalize them. So it's all, I think, that duality and mutability of Gemini can really bring growth, maybe hopefully in a better way.
I love that. I love that. Yes, it's going to be a lot of new ideas. I feel that we're going to hear about a lot of new stuff because Gemini is always full of ideas, always curious, always learning new things, always having this mental, um, mental, mental capacity to always think about new things. So we're probably going to hear a lot of new ideas that all the Gemini rules. We forget also that Gemini rules mobility. I mean, transport and, you know, cars and stuff like that. So there might be some other news about that as well. I know that Uranus in Gemini, when it comes, is going to be more of that. But you know, like something that might happen. Mobility, you know, Gemini needs to move all the time, not just its mind, but it's also the body. So we can find a lot of new things about that. I'm concerned maybe about mental health as well, because it is overwhelmed, because Gemini is fast, and then Jupiter, whatever he touches, he makes it bigger and larger. So, you know,
Yeah.
people who are maybe struggling with mental health or having some issues, that might be, you know, it could be, or we can see more people struggling with mental health. So I just want to make sure that, what do you think about it? Is there a way that we can help, or just an idea how to manage this?
I don't know. I think that's help with that is not, but I mean, maybe it's like if there is I mean, a problem that was going deep in that, the people maybe would be able to seek more for help. It's like, maybe it's like it comes to the surface, and then the people may be like more aware of it, and then they may also seek more help. I mean, it doesn't stay like, it's like shush shush shush, like you don't talk about it, but it's like when the people may be talking about more and may be taking more advice or consultation, counseling, or whatever. I think it can be the case like that as well.
Yeah, I feel that there might be new developments in that field. Maybe there's going to be some new developments and some techniques or something that we have a new idea how to help people with mental health issues. So I think that might be a topic that we might find some solutions in that sense. So some new developments coming up. So I think that's a hope for there. Hope. I think hope is number one word for me with Jupiter. I want to now say, because Jupiter is having some aspects that I want to. We talked about Jupiter Saturn square as number one, but then he's going to
Yes.
trine Pluto. So just a few days after he comes into Gemini, he's going to trine Pluto. So what do you think? Because this is going to just amplify, because this is all about more about new ideas. This Aquarius is futuristic, is innovative. So I think there's going to be even more maybe usage of AI or something. What do you think? I think this is going to bring us a lot of new things. Are we ready for it?
Yeah, that I had all jotted down. That's why I'm looking in front of me all the time. I have a notebook, and then that again, Jupiter Pluto conjunction was also, it was in Capricorn in 2020. That's again the trine of that cycle. Is the waxing. We are all the time in the waxing part of that. So I mean, it's actually, if we are talking about the trine, it's a like part of the 12 year of cycle, and in the end, there is the Pluto can be intensification, but also it can be about the transformation. So it can help the transformation of ideas, and then also sometimes intensify. I don't know if when it gets intensified and Jupiter gets too much about it, it can cause some kind of, that even harmonious aspect can cause some kind of too much, too much explosion or something like that. But if it's in a more balanced way, I think in that sense, that's the thing. The problem is that, with AI technology, etc., I don't know how much there is this rules and everything is set. And with Jupiter, it's also like I want to go bigger. Big ideas and everything. And Pluto intensifying it, things may get out of control at the end of the day.
Yeah,
There is that downside of that as well. Okay, they are good together. There can be a nice transformation and everything, and then change, beautiful. But what if it gets out of control? Then what do you do there?
I like that. Yeah, because with Jupiter, we never know how bigger are we going to get. What I like, because Jupiter is also about law and regulations, right? So we might get some
Yeah.
new regulations about AI and stuff like that, and how to use technology, how to implement all these new breakthroughs we have in our everyday life, because that is necessary now. Even it's not even a thing of option. We now need to make some regulations, because people are using. We need to see how kids in school use AI, people at work. So there's going to be, I think, some kind of regulations, because Jupiter is about law. So we can see with this trine a lot of changes in technology, innovation. It's very airy, so it's going to be a lot of maybe ideas. Not everything is going to come true, but we're going to hear a lot about it. So I feel there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of data, so we have to use discernment with this Jupiter in Gemini, because there's going to be a lot of it. We won't know what is true, what is, now which path to take. Again, I feel that Saturn will help us with that. I also want to mention another a great aspect. Mars will join Jupiter from July 20th to September 4th. So what are your thoughts when Jupiter and Mars are together? Hello,
That I did.
Harish.
I saw that, Harish. Yeah, I looked at only the outer planets. You said the Mars, because I have the list in front of me. Mars. Do I see the Mars?
Yeah, so
I don't
Mars
see
will
the
be in
Mars.
Gemini. Mars will be in Gemini from July 20th to
Oh,
September
okay.
4th. So that
Hmm.
okay, before I'm going to give you, so before so what I feel that, when we can feel overly confident. So Mars is our drive, it's our passions, it's how we work. So we can be overly confident in that period of time, just having, not thinking things through, thinking that we can do it, but we can't. That's the problem.
It can cause arrogance in a way, that the Jupiter, because can be arrogant as well. So it's like arrogancy comes with that. So it's like you are too much driven, too much assertive, too much this, and then the arrogance added to that. Like maybe you think, you become like, oh, I know everything, I know it all. But do you know everything really? That we don't know, I mean.
Especially in Gemini, it's going to be literally what you said. Overconfident is, oh my, or we can be very stubborn in a way, like, oh, my ideas are the best. I know the best, and I can do it, or I have all the information, but you don't. So thinking that, oh yeah, I have everything I need to know, but you don't. So this can be, it can be overly confident, as you said. So just watch out for this period, July 20th to September 4th. But again, I like it because then Saturn is squaring Jupiter in the middle of that. So it give us like, no, step, a break, like a little break. I do feel that it's going to be good. Another thing I wanted to mention that I think it's important is that this new moon in Gemini on June 6th, we're going to have a Venus there in Gemini as well. So there's going to be Venus and Jupiter together for this new moon. New moons are always new hope and stuff. So what do you feel about this? Just shortly, I know you didn't look into it in detail, but we have a new moon in Gemini, Jupiter is there and Venus is there, the two benefics. What can this signify for the future, like a new cycle?
I don't know if you, I mean, we are going to look at the ingress chart, because Venus and Jupiter are conjunct there. There's a Gemini stellium in the chart. So maybe we go back to the ingress chart, but Venus and Jupiter, I mean, like Venus is about, I mean, like, values, and I mean, like, it's like, in a way, it can be about values, about what we believe, and values about our faith, and values about our journey and our relationship to journey, and thinking about it. I mean, like, and also expanding our relationships with other people in a more mental level. This is something airy. I mean, that there are ideas, there are thoughts. So we will, grow maybe through our relationships if we can do this mental exchange and social interactions more. And again, it depends again where Gemini is in our charts. I mean, which area of life we are talking about.
Yeah, I'm thinking globally this can be some new partnerships, some new on a greater scale. There could be some people, just maybe countries or some organizations, because Jupiter is also like in a way, not a humanitarian, but it's connecting these countries and exploring new things. So we can find some new partnerships, and I think it's going to be a great new start for making like a new brand start with new ideas. We have just Pluto there trining this new moon. I feel in Gemini so June 6th is going to be huge globally. I think we're starting a new cycle that we're going to maybe change some things on a bigger scale, and Venus is helping with that as well. So I think it's going to be beautiful. Okay, so what do you feel that we should watch for with this Gemini in Jupiter? What are the downsides? So we talk about good sides, exploring our mind and knowledge and learning. What do you feel that might be something that people might just be cautious of?
I mean, I think it's more about, like, as I said, I mean, it's like, yeah, you can, I mean, pick up lots of information, but it's like you try to not to like decentralize yourself. I mean, it's like, it's like because you can learn lots of things at the same time, and do things. I learned this, I learned that, I talk about this like this. But the moment that you decentralize yourself too much, then you will have like it's like those computer piece that you get, and then you take out, okay, I can put them together, and then you have all these cables etc around, and then I cannot put them together again. They won't have any meaning together. So it's better, like, if I'm taking the pieces out or taking things, it's like doing one by one and know what they are related with. So it's like, because if I don't want to go down the rabbit hole and then cannot come out of that, it will become like that if we start like attacking every kind of information that we see and everything, and then we have lots of things, data in front of us, and then don't know what to do with that thing. And you can, I mean, it can get out of control in that sense. So in this regard, I think, yeah, we can use the power of Jupiter, I mean, in expanding our knowledge and everything, but not everything. I mean, like bit by bit, much slowly. Stop the Mercury, not swiftness. It's like there should be a way that, like, when if we are thinking that we are speeding up too much or attacking too much, we have to think that no, you have to slow down. And then it's like maybe Mercury retrograde periods would be the times that maybe that will remind us that okay, you are going too fast. Okay, I mean, don't cheat yourself. This won't happen. Also, tricksters, don't cheat yourself. I mean, it's not AI. Yeah, so it's like maybe you need to slow down and then go much slower and understand why you are collecting this data, or why you are learning, or why you are interacting. I mean, like, why do I interact with 100 people? Maybe if I do that with 10 people, you will be still from 1 to 10 is also, I mean, a growth. But then do that growth in a much control way, in a much better way. So I think that would be the downside, and how you can balance it in a way.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah, I just feel that people might be overly mentally stimulated, because your mind is gonna work so fast that you need to find a way also to calm your nervous system, and just find a way how to channel all this information. And you don't need to act on every idea. That would be my suggestion, because you're gonna have the urge to act on everything. So the great way to actually revise and go through everything. I know, as Teri said, all the Mercury retrogrades, because they're ruling this Jupiter, are going to be important. But also, we're going to, as I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to have Jupiter retrograde. So that's going to be also very important from October 9th to February 4th. This will be very important to see where are you actually going, what is your path, and what do you actually want to explore. So what do you feel about that when Jupiter is going to go retrograde?
Jupiter goes retrograde. I think it's the, again, I mean, like, we have to, I mean, it's a good slow down period. I mean, like, we have to first of all see, I mean, like, whatever I think we are doing with this Jupiter in Gemini, which part of area of life, it's a good, it would be a good period to revise everything, and then see, like, what's my journey, what kind of a meaning I'm having in this part, or what kind of a growth or kind of expansion plan did I have. I mean, especially in terms of um, um, ideas, and in terms of communication, and in terms of I think it can be about, as I said, yeah, third house matters, and siblings. It can be about your relationships, your siblings, or it can be about your something about your local community. And it can be a good time to revise all this thing, and then, like, writing down what did I do so far, and then maybe did I succeed, or did I go too much, did I exaggerate things, and then it's writing them down. And I don't know, I didn't check, but I don't know if it also, probably it will at a point intersect with the Mercury retrograde period, so it can be double period. So it can be a good time to revise all these, reflect on all that path, and maybe it can be a good time to uh, rebuild, I mean, our plans about this.
Yeah, especially because when Jupiter is retrograde and meets Saturn in a retrograde phase for Christmas, it's going to, and it's end of the year, so it's actually excellent time to reflect, because and to see to which ideas you actually want to commit, because you don't want to commit to everything. So I think that will be the period, end of the year, with Saturn squaring the retrograde Jupiter, to actually work on those ideas. what was I gonna say? My brain today oh, I want to say hi to everybody on Instagram. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that. I'm happy. I hope you find this useful. Yeah. So I think we mentioned almost everything. Do you have anything else that I missed in your
I
notes?
don't know.
Please.
I had, for example, I also came with a tarot card that is related with Jupiter in Gemini. If we have time, but if you don't have time, that's not a problem.
Yes,
Uh,
please. No. I want a tarot card for Jupiter and Gemini. Please. Yes. Go there, please.
can I show the card that is directly related? Because this is Jupiter in Gemini card. That's the Eight of Swords. What is it? It is called, and it is the first decan of Gemini who were born. I mean, with any planets in the first 10 degrees of the sign of Gemini. That's the card for them, and that's the. I mean, the according to the Chaldean rulers, I mean, that's the Jupiter in Gemini. And then here also we can see that, I mean, when we look at this card, you see, I mean, actually the person like connected, but she has place to go, she has lots of options, but in a way she feels like in a way kind of uh, trapped in that thing. I mean, sometimes I think it can give a feeling like that because there are so many options. Actually, you are not trapped, but you are just thinking that since you don't see, you have to make a peek under the blindfold, and then you see, and then maybe you try to get those options and whatever you have in a more, I mean, like objective way, so that you can find your path in a way. I mean, I think that's a small explanation of this. I mean, so it's like sometimes because it's like she has lots of things, lots of place to go. I mean, her feet are working, and the swords that we see, they are not actually making anything to her. You are free, so use your freedom to think, but of course don't try to go. There are lots of ways, but use one way, which not to go the downside. I mean, put a limit to the limitless Jupiter in a way. I mean, like, yeah, don't expand too much, but you are not actually, it's like I mean, it's mind. I mean, sometimes we think that in our mind we make up things, or we overthink. Yeah, it's like, and then we think that it's like, yeah, we are trapped, but we are not trapped. We are free. We are free to think. We are free to do things, but not in an exaggerated way, maybe. And use the power of your mind in a good way.
I love that. Yeah. So I think this is a very good addition to this retrograde phase that we talked about. This is going to be a perfect way to actually use your discernment and choose the right path and see that there's options. I love that. Awesome. Cool. Anything else you want to mention? I think we went through everything, and you're just in as we can do.
Yeah, I think, I mean, like, because it's like, because there is the ingress chart. If you look at it, it's like a crazy ingress chart. I think there is a Gemini stellium, and that has Taurus and everything that we can be later. And there's a Jupiter Neptune conjunction. There would be also, I mean, like, no, Jupiter Neptune sextile. There would be. That was the part of the 2022 conjunction. So I think that can be interesting to think for the people. They can think about it later. And there's also Chiron, and even with the North Node, etc. There will be some touches and interactions during the way, but that's all I can say. I think that would be that from me as well. Yeah, lots of
Awesome.
notes.
Yeah.
Jupiter in Gemini, lots of notes, of course.
I know we can talk all day, all night, but I think it was really interesting. We just gave a big picture of what you can expect. Just take care of your mental health, I would say, and then I think it's a good period to make friends. So think about friendships in your life and how can you expand those, and then find your tribe. Find somebody who is like-minded like you, and with whom you can actually interact and exchange idea and brainstorm. I think it's going to be a big topic this whole period of Jupiter in Gemini, because there's Pluto there helping, and there is this Mars is going to be there. So I think it's going to be a lot of action of connecting, networking, making new connections, making friends, finding people who you can talk to. So I think that's going to be a huge. Just don't overstimulate yourself, and watch your mental health. Make sure that you have also time for yourself to actually go through through everything that is happening in your mind. That would be just quickly for me.
It's like Gemini is the shoulder, so don't put too much burden on your shoulders in a way.
I love that. Yeah. Too many ideas can overwhelm you and have put a burden. Yes, I like that. So Teri, tell me, so before we go, where can people find you, and what are you having now that is happening for you?
Okay, so where people can find me under the name of Amethyst Astro Tarot, they can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. It's like on podcast, Jupiter in Gemini, everywhere. It's like broadcasting everywhere possible. And also, I think the next biggest thing coming up, though the title etc. hasn't been confirmed, I would be hopefully, if everything goes well, talking at the British Astrological Association conference in end of August. So I don't know the title yet, because we have offered two titles. One of them will be chosen, and it will be clear by May, probably after Mercury retrograde finishes, etc. So we will know more about all those details. But except that, I mean, like, I continue like seeing clients and meeting people, making natal astrology, and trying to finish some articles. Never ending story for me, finding time with the two children and everything. But that would be that. I think that's what people can do. And also, just before we follow up, because today I wrote down, it will be for some people Jupiter returns. So those people, like, I mean, like 12 years that you can calculate, like that they would be Jupiter return. And it's always good looking at those charts to see what next 12 years in Jupiterian terms may mean for them.
That is true. I forgot about that. Yeah, that is amazing. So everybody who has Jupiter return, Jupiter in Gemini, actually it's a great period of time to book a reading with astrologer, whoever you find that appeals to you, to give you a bigger picture of your next 12 years. Good. That's a very good. I like that. Yeah. So there's gonna be, it's like a lucky year in general for people who have Jupiter return. So there can be more blessings for you guys. That's amazing. Awesome. I want to thank you again, Teri. This was amazing. I really appreciate it. I hope for everybody who's watching later, I hope you find this helpful and useful. There's going to be more talk about Jupiter and Gemini as we come closer to that time. But I want to really thank Teri for giving us this big picture of understanding what the next year might be for Jupiter and Gemini. For me, you can find me everywhere with Jasmina Brozic Astrology. I have a website to book readings, and YouTube and Instagram. That's where I mostly am. So have a great week ahead. Next week, don't forget, next Saturday, there's a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction happening. Everybody's buzzing about this for a long time. So it's 1 week away. So good luck to everybody. If you want to play lottery, I don't spend a lot of money, but this week is a good time to actually put a few dollars, few bucks, a few pounds, few euros in a lottery ticket. You never know. Yeah. So good luck, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you, Teri, and talk soon. Bye.
Okay.